This is Eddie Hearn, Matchroom Boxing. You are watching Sporting Icons. You don't need to be anywhere else.
Now, I'm pretty sure Eddie Hearn will look back at this week and think, what an absolute nightmare. The week started off with the fallout of Anthony Joshua Tyson Fury fight, where George Warren, he went on to TalkSport. He gave his side of the story. We've all seen Eddie Hearn's interviews, and a lot of people are pointing out Eddie Hearn, saying, well, maybe you're part of the reason why this fight fell apart because you were stalling, you were taking your time. A lot of people feel that way. Then, of course, now you've got the Conor Benn PED situation. And the fact that he was still trying to make the fight, knowing that his fighter had popped for a VADA test. And he's trying to put the fight on with a technicality about the fact that he passed all of UCAD. So people have the right to look at Eddie Hearn, especially over this whole Conor Benn situation, and say, your integrity is in question. Is Eddie Hearn two-faced? Is he a hypocrite? Of course he is. Of course he is. Based on the fact that he's saying that Conor Benn, he passed all of UCAD, so therefore the fight should still go ahead, as the British Box Border Control, they don't recognise VADA and whatever else, even though he was paying for VADA, so why just ignore the test? When in years gone by, for other fights and whatever, he said the complete opposite. Well, it doesn't matter whether or not you passed UCAD, you passed VADA. You failed VADA, sorry. And if you fail VADA, what are you going to do? Just disregard it? VADA is the best testing agency in the world. These are some of the many things that Eddie Hearn has said. So is he two-faced? Is he a hypocrite? Yeah, of course he is. But which one of us are not? Many people who were lambasting the fight potentially going ahead, people calling Conor Benn a PED cheat and all these kind of things, and going in on Eddie Hearn for trying to put the fight on, would you still have watched it? Most people would have done. If people are going to be honest about it, they would have done. Many of the journalists out there who were saying to pull the fight, had the fight gone ahead, would those same journalists have turned up to fight night to get their free media perks? Of course they would have done. There's a lot of hypocrites. Now, people have been saying how, well, he did the same when it comes to Dillian Whyte and Oscar Rivas. Dillian Whyte had an adverse finding with a UCAD sample, where, 2 days before or 3 days before the fight went ahead. As it turned out, luckily, Oscar Rivas wasn't hurt, firstly, and secondly, Dillian Whyte won the case. He was clean. But people want to point at that. But yet the very same people, and we know who a lot of the people are, these are the same people who wake up each and every day to try and find some reason to hate on Eddie Hearn. And I'm not here to defend him, by the way, but are the same people who support people like Tyson Fury. People forget that Bob Arum, he put on Oscar Valdez, did he not? Even though Oscar Valdez failed a VADA test. Correct? That was, a couple of months ago now? Frank Warren, he's saying, yes, the fight should have been pulled and all these other kind of things. But yet, wasn't he the promoter for Tyson Fury when Tyson Fury failed the UCAD test? Was he not? As apparently these promoters, they find out pretty quickly, way before the public. So my question would be, did Frank Warren and Queensberry, did they know that Tyson Fury failed a UCAD test? Was it around the Derek Chisora rematch to Christian Hammer fight, wasn't it? Did he know about this, but still put on the Christian Hammer fight? Maybe even the Chisora fight, depending on the timeline? Did he? Is Umar off IFL TV, because you know fine well he's going to get hold of Frank Warren at some point, is he going to ask him that question? Did you know that Tyson Fury failed a UCAD test when you put on the Christian Hammer fight? Did you know about it? We could even argue the fact that Tyson Fury, he got a 2-year backdated ban. So in theory, the Christian Hammer fight and the Vladimir Klitschko fight should be erased from the record. But they're not. We can continue with Frank Warren if you like. Didn't he try to get in bed with Lou DiBella to put on Jean Pascal versus Joshua Boazzi? Jean Pascal, who had, 4 PEDs in his system? Not so long ago. Didn't Frank Warren offer Lucas Brown, the fight with Daniel Dubois. Lucas Brown, who also has a history of PEDs. Again, all of it alleged, of course. All fighters are innocent, right? Isn't Frank Warren Queensberry trying to make Tyson Fury versus Manuel Charr? Didn't they offer Manuel Charr a 3-fight deal? Manuel Charr also has a cloud when it comes to PED use, right? Frank Warren signed Tyson Fury on his comeback. Did he not? So let us hold the same energy. And as I said before, I'm not trying to say that Frank Warren was wrong for any of this. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying Bob Arum was or Eddie Hearn was. Okay, but ultimately, if we're going to hold Eddie Hearn's feet to the fire for trying to get this fight over the line and whatever else, okay, well, hold everybody else's feet to the fire too. Be transparent. Be fair about everything. Eddie Hearn, yes, his integrity is in question. He said many, many times, you can say whatever you like about me, but I ain't no cheat and you can't question my integrity. You have to question his integrity for this one. You have to. There's no way you can't. No way. Now maybe DAZN were telling Eddie Hearn, try and put the fight on. Try and keep the fight on if you can. This was Conor Benn's breakout fight. This was what was going to move him onto the next level of potential superstar level. Pay-per-view star going forward for DAZN. This was it. I'm sure DAZN wanted this fight to continue. I don't know. Maybe they'll tell Eddie Hearn, you know what, maybe we should pull it. But he's like, no. So we don't know because we're not privy to these conversations. And again, Kalle Sauerland, he don't get away with this one either. He doesn't. He was trying to put this fight on. He was trying to put his fighter in the ring, weight drained, against somebody who's potentially a PD cheat. Eddie Hearn, exactly the same. He was trying to put his fighter, potentially a PED cheat, in with somebody who is weight drained and can't rehydrate properly. But he was quite happy for this fight to go ahead. Apparently, they knew about this quite some time ago. Way before we did. A long time before we did. A week, 2 weeks, some say a couple of months, whoever. So many conflicting dates around. But they knew about this in advance. But we still went ahead with the media days and still trying to hype the fight and all that kind of thing. Just totally ignoring the fact that Conor Benn failed the VADA test. Totally ignored it. Yes, Eddie Hearn is very two-faced. A lot of people are very two-faced. It's just the world we live in. So I'll go back to the original question. Was you still going to watch it? Those who are lambasting Eddie Hearn, was you still going to watch the fight? Did you really care that much? How many of you, and I will include myself in this one, were thinking, nah, man, that's wrong. That's wrong. But I'm still going to watch it. I'm still going to pay for it on pay-per-view. Where there's a part of me kind of hoping and wishing that they just put the fight on anyway. Yeah. We're all two-faced, all of us. All of our morals are off-centre. Most of us, listen, some people would have been dead set against it, should pull the fight, I ain't going to watch it if it goes ahead, all that kind of stuff. But again, how many of those people are just Eddie Hearn Matchroom haters? Would you hold the same energy for every single fighter out there? Those who are saying that Conor Benn should be banned for life. Okay, should Canelo Alvarez be banned for life? Should Luis Ortiz be banned for life? Should Tyson Fury be banned for life? The list goes on, right? Big Baby Jarrell Miller. Again, Bob Arum. Not only did he try and put on that Oscar Valdez fight recently, but right after the whole scandal with Big Baby Jarrell Miller and the multiple PDs that he took for the Anthony Joshua fight that collapsed, Bob Arum opened the door for him and gave him a deal. Then, of course, he failed again. But, hey, for me personally, I think for a first offence, 2-year ban is more than adequate. None of this 6-month ban like I did with Canelo. Canelo was a guy at that time who only fought twice a year. So yeah, all promoters do this, right? Or at least most of them. The only promoter currently who has any kind of integrity when it comes to this kind of thing that I can think of is Ben Shalom. But again, because he's only been in boxing 5 minutes, in a couple of years' time, maybe we're going to say he doesn't have any integrity either because he would do certain things. Maybe, or maybe he's going to be one of the good guys going forward. Let's hope. But yeah, Eddie Hearn, his reputation, his credibility, yeah, it's in question, without a doubt. Is he two-faced? Yeah, he's very two-faced. He is. He is. Maybe now he's going to potentially even step back a little bit now, or let Frank Smith take more of the table. Maybe. We'll have to wait and see. I do think, though, that when he and Callis Howland done that, was it 2 or 3 minute press conference to announce that the fight was off, even though they put out a statement anyway, when you got media there all day and Eddie Hearn refused to take any questions or interviews, just walked off. That was very bad. He had a lot of media there who've been waiting around all day, who have hotels that they have paid for, that are still paid for now to go through to fight night. But you couldn't even give them your, questions? You couldn't give them a couple of minutes of your time? Because you know that you're wrong, Eddie. You know that you're wrong. He was trying to put this fight on with a technicality. Listen, as I said, we're all two-faced, right? Drop your thoughts below, click thumbs up, subscribe. Catch you next video.